Okay. Now the gun does feel good in the hands. Trigger feels great. The gun does feel good in the hands. Now something that you're going to notice right away is the eye wire wraps along the back here and connects on the back part of the board here. Right here in the front, this is actually where you program the Lux, is right here through this little joystick here. You turn your gun on.
On, battery level, 100%, firing mode, PSP.
Okay, and then what you do is you hold this down for a second to get into the programming mode.
Programming mode, main menu, firing mode.
And then you start scrolling through it.
Setting, PSP, Millennium, CFOA, auto response, training, burst, fully automatic, rebound 1, rebound 2, rebound 3, rebound.
So these are just some of the modes here.
Rebound 5, rebound 5, rebound 5.
And once we hit the end, we'll just cycle back through.
4, rebound 1, fully automatic, burst, CFOA, Millennium, PSP.
Now, actually, this is the PSP mode that we're all used to. When we turn this back off,
Battery level 100%. Firing mode, PSP.
turn the eyes off,
Vision off.
and you'll hear this is the PSP 3 shot that we all love, that we all need. This is great. So it's got a great, so far we can tell the board in it's great. The firing mode is great. PSP 3 shot.
On. Powering off.
All right. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pull the bolt off. To actually take this gun apart, there's a bolt here, and there's a bolt here on the underside. So let's start taking that apart. Okay. Out comes the bolt there. Okay, and then what we'll do is the solenoid, basically just one wire. So we just got to undo the wire out of the board. Okay, out that goes. And then we will disconnect the eye wire from the back. Out that goes. Okay, and there we go. Now we've disconnected the frame from the body. Now, something that you're going to notice right here in the frame right away is you're going to see a hole right here. This is where the air channel goes up through the grip frame. Goes up through the hole and comes in through here. So you see this little, I believe that's a urethane O-ring. The air from the tank goes up through the front of the grip frame and right out through the top here. And hopefully you can see that. And then goes up and into the frame from here. Then it travels through the body, into the regulator, back up through the regulator, and into the gun. Pretty cool little design. Now, something else too here that I noticed when I took the solenoid apart was that it's got a manifold. It looks very similar to a shocker. I haven't checked it out yet, but the manifold and how this, how these three little ports here look a lot like a shocker manifold. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, this solenoid configuration here is very similar to the Impulse design. So you can take a look and see those little 3 holes there at the bottom, 3 holes right there, and that's how the air gets transferred through the gun. Pretty cool. And now the next thing that we'll do, now that we got the grip frame off, got the solenoid off, let's go ahead and take apart the regulator. Okay, now what we'll do is show you how to take apart the regulator on the Lux. The regulator actually comes out very easy. What you do is first there is a retaining nut that holds the regulator cover on. So let's go ahead and unscrew that. Okay, and out that comes. Okay, and then once the retaining nut comes off, this front shield comes right off, and now you can see the regulator. All right. Now this is the regulator. Now how the regulator comes apart is there's two set screws on both sides of the regulator that are holding the body together. Let's go ahead and unscrew those. The Allen key. And what we'll do here is we'll separate the two halves. Okay, almost there. There we go. Now this regulator is very, very reminiscent of actually the same regulator that they use on the Vibe. Looks almost identical to it. There is a couple little differences. Now out comes the spring, and here we go. We will remove the piston, and there we go. That's how you take apart the regulator. Very quick and easy. This, like I said, this regulator is very, very similar to the regulator that they use on the Vibe. Now, what they did here is, you probably can't see it from the way the camera is positioned, but the air comes in through the top here. And if you look here, there's two O-rings on this regulator. There's an O-ring right here and an O-ring right here. What happens is the high pressure air coming in from the tank comes in through the top here, works its way down, and then comes up through the regulator. So that's how this regulator works. If you look very carefully, you'll see two very small holes where the air goes in, gets regulated, and comes back out into the gun. So it's got the same piston and shares the same spring and very similar in design to the Vibe reg, but they did mill some extra air channels in here to have a macro line or fittingless design, which is definitely a nice little sleek thing to have. So here we go. So we put this back together again. Now when you're putting this together, when you're putting the regulator together, there's two little holes that those set screws screw into. So you need to make sure that you tighten this down enough so that the holes line up perfectly, or you're not going to be able to get your set screws back in. Okay, now that we've got the holes lined up on the regulator to put in the set screws, we'll start putting the lugs back together again. Okay. All right. Okay. Then we put the cover on it, like that. Okay, and we just line the cover up. Okay, so we're lined up. All right.